Thank you very much. First of all, welcome everybody this morning at the early hour. My name is Wolfgang Benedek. I am a professor of international law at University of Graz in Austria, and I'm also directing the so-called European Training and Research Center for Human Rights and Democracy in Graz, Austria. At the university, we have a long-standing project following the IGF and even earlier WSIS activities. And at the ETC, as we call it, we are doing cyber education for different groups of people. When 9/11 happened, a lot of reactions you are aware of were to tighten security and to introduce new kinds of regulations. And I had the opportunity at that time in 2003, in early 2003, to organize a conference on anti-terrorist measures and human rights, which later was published with Schneier. Our title is a bit larger than privacy because it says security and civil liberties. And the question which you posed, the balance, could certainly be refuted in a certain way, because one could say, why should we balance absolute human rights against security interests? If we look closer, we can say, all right, also Article 17 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights does not contain any qualifications. It's different when you look at the European Convention on Human Rights, where Article 8 does have certain possibilities for restricting the right, in particular also for the sake of public safety and security. However, whereas under the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, you have to announce as a state, according to Article 4, that there is a state of emergency which allows you to restrict the right, and very few countries do so, by the way. Under Article 8 of the European Convention on Human Rights and Privacy, the qualification is that such measures have to be necessary in a democratic society. And so we have certain standards which were developed by the European Court of Human Rights in Strasbourg, which is the Court of the Council of Europe, how to deal with that restrictions. And also restrictions are possible. The standards developed by the European Court of Human Rights are also very restrictive when it comes to those restrictions. So maybe I will elaborate on that a bit more later on. Just on a general note, last year we met in Hyderabad, and as you all are aware, before this terrorist incident happened in Mumbai, and then we all got some warnings, please avoid Mumbai or don't go to Hyderabad at all. And I had no other chance than to go to Mumbai because my flight was booked and I was sitting all night at the airport and feeling a bit uneasy. But on the other hand, I think there is a certain measure of insecurity which you have to take into account in our world of today. You cannot fully avoid any risk. And the anti-terrorist legislation which we have seen over the last years was under the presumption that you can avoid largely those risks, and therefore you have to give away freedom in order to preserve security. And also I'm quite sure that we have given away quite a good part of our freedoms. I'm not so sure what has been the effect of that on our security. So my hypothesis would be that there is a problem of proportionality between the measures of restricting freedoms and the gains for security from it. And I would like to maybe give you some more concrete examples what's going on in Europe when I have an opportunity to speak about